The best DPS player in the world right now mains Magik in Marvel Rivals, so I took the time to watch his games and study everything he does and why he does it, and I've learned an absolute ton about this character. Since watching so many of his games, I've started playing Magik, and not only have I gotten good on her, I realized that she's probably the most fun character I've played so far in this game. I don't want to waste your guys' time, so let's jump right into this, but before I do, I quickly ask if you could leave a like on this video. I want to try and get this video to 1,000 likes, so if we do, thank you guys so much. Anyways, let's begin with something very important I've seen on her, and it's so important it's the first thing I want to teach you. First, go to your settings and make sure your melee is bound to an easy button for you to use. The reason for that is because, believe it or not, we're going to be using our melee button on this melee character. But the reason for that is because her melee is a different animation than her normal sword swing. This means we can cancel her main attack animation with another hit. To do this, all you have to do is use your main fire, then click your melee button. Don't do it too quickly or you'll just straight up cancel your swing. Just give it half a second and then click your melee, and you can cancel the animation and get more damage out. The reason this is important is because when you play her, you'll notice her swings have a long wind-up time in between. If you saw my Doctor Strange video, you'll notice it's the same thing here. There's no drawback to this, and we're putting out more damage. And especially when you get someone to 1 HP and you can't get that second swing in time, this melee cancel will help you get that kill before they can escape. Now that I've shown that to you, there are two combos I've seen the top player use. One is a kill combo that's fairly easy to do, and the other he uses is a bit more difficult and uses up a lot of your abilities. When you hear that, you definitely think, why bother using the second one? But that's because in his elo, he basically has to do it to secure his kills. Players in the top rank are way less forgiving, and if you give them that second to heal or escape, they'll use it. You probably won't have to worry about this as much because, I mean, I'm in Diamond and I don't even have to do this, but on the off chance you do, I'll show you how to do both these combos. It's also probably just good if you know both if you want to take this character seriously. Let's start with the easy combo first. I'm also going to tell you now, as I'm going over the combos, I'm going to be explaining the abilities. I don't want to just talk about the abilities, I want you guys to actually understand what you're doing. So for this first combo, we use our ability Magic Slash. This is our alt fire and has a damage condition, and that's how long you wind up her swing. The longer you charge it up, the more damage it'll do. Obviously, we don't want to be standing out in the open while we're charging this up, so it's best to charge it behind cover and then pop out and use it. It's also good to know this has no damage fall off or max range on it. You can fire this from basically max distance and it will still land. So if you're far from a fight and you still want to get there, throw this in and you can help your team. But back to the combo. So now that we know the first step is Magic Slash, well, your next step is going to be your Umbreal Incursion. This ability is a launcher, so it's meant to be used with a combo and another swing. Let me explain this ability real quick so you understand the advanced parts to it, because you'll get this ability to land way more once you understand. The first thing I want to explain here is the camera position on your character. Notice how Magik is off center and the sword is a little bit more under your reticle. When we use her dash, it's important to know this, because aiming to the right of your target gives us a bigger success chance to land, while aiming to the left has a way bigger window of missing. It's okay if you miss this ability a lot in the beginning when you're learning her. I did too. The dash can kind of be hard to land sometimes. I mean, honestly, this dash not landing was making me consider maybe I shouldn't even bother playing her. But once I found out aiming to the right has a way bigger success chance, I became so much better at playing Magik. Also, this dash has a max range of 15 meters, so keep that in mind that you need to be somewhat close to use it. And also, don't be too afraid to use it just to get the hell out of there. I do that a lot, and so does the top player. Now that I've really explained her two abilities to you, let's put it all together. So for this combo, we start with a fully charged slash, then we close the distance with a dash, and once you've launched up the target, hit them with your main fire. And this is a kill combo, and if you're targeting the supports, which is what you should be doing, this will kill almost every time, especially if it's a one-on-one and you're alone with them. But let's say you have a target like Wolverine who has slightly more health, or they're just buffed up a little bit. That's when we can add the animation cancel I showed you in the beginning of the video. So we do a fully charged slash, then our dash, and then we get a full swing off in midair, and then we just do the melee cancel. And once you've got that down, it's honestly pretty easy to start assassinating people with this character. And on that same topic of assassinating, before I get into our harder combo, let me explain this. On Magik, there's two playstyles for her. The first one is if your team has two tanks and you're going to have a lot more freedom. You're going to be able to hit the sides of the fight and target the supports in the back, and this gives you so much more freedom to get back there and do your job, because a lot of the attention is on the front line of the fight. Just know that when you're doing this, you need to be playing the health packs. Don't rely on your supports to heal you because you're not going to be with them. You just need to try and remember the routes to the nearest health packs. Also remember that your kit is basically designed for you to get a kill on a support and run out. Don't try and stay in a fight too long or you'll just die. Once you've killed a support 1 or 2 times in a game, you're starting to change the way the other team plays, and they'll be watching for you and thinking about you way more, and it'll make them mess up more. I mean, that is as long as the rest of your team is doing their job. The other way you have to play her is if there's one tank, and this causes Magik to to be way less effective, because now you kind of have to act as a second tank. It kind of depends on the team, but in my rank game so far, when we only have one tank, I have to kind of be more in the front line and help out more, especially when we have way too many dive characters. They start watching for the dive and it makes it kind of hard to pull off on this character. I hope that wasn't too confusing, but in case it is, just drop me a like. With that out the way, let's talk about her second combo, which will cover her last ability I haven't really talked about yet. This is called Stepping Discs. This ability applies an invulnerability time on you where you can't be damaged, and it's really good for escaping with this. On top of that, you get either a split choice of using a massive AoE spinning attack or a small demon that you can use to hold a door for you. But for the combo, we're going to be using the AoE attack. So I want to cover Demon Rage first because this move is honestly great. Once you're out of your stepping disc, you have 3 seconds to choose. So what I do when I'm trying to escape is prop this up on a door or my falling route in case someone is chasing me, and it'll let me know if they're coming, or it'll put out a lot of damage on them. I also use this in team fights because it puts out a lot of damage and it can kind of get missed in everything going on, but the damage this does on tanks is massive.
And you know what else is massive?
Her spinning attack isn't great for damage, but great when the other team is clustered up together and they have someone one shot. And it's also good for this combo. So the way this works is the combo starts with a stepping disc instead of a sword slash. During that 3-second timer after you use a stepping disc, you have to click your whirl attack and then dash immediately after. This will cause an animation where you're doing both at the same time, and it will still give you the launcher ability for this combo. While in air, give them a full sword swing and then follow it up with a non-charged magic slash. I'll explain that again a little slower and in parts. Especially if you're playing along with me while doing this, I'll make this easy for you. Also, if you're playing along with me and you're in the practice range, make sure you go to practice settings and turn off ability cooldowns, because this will help you practice a lot better. So let's start with this combo. So first, use stepping disc, and while you have this timer up, use your whirl attack and then immediately dash. It sounds hard, but trust me, it's not that bad. If you can't get the timing right, just say 1, 2 like that, because that's the cadence for the button clicks. You whirl attack, then dash. 1, 2. If you got that down, the next part is very simple. You just do your main attack swing and follow it up with a slash. You can also follow it up with a melee instead of the slash, but honestly, if you want it the way the pro does it, it's just with the slash. I think it's smarter to use the melee so you don't have to waste your slash ability, but the slash does slightly more damage, so it's more reliable for the kill. If you want to use the slash, I get it. The reason I don't like using this combo is because it drains all your abilities and leaves you with one stepping disc out, but I definitely understand why he's forced to use this ability, and it also doesn't rely on you hitting a fully charged night slash. It's definitely good to know both these if you want to take this character seriously, and depending on the player, one might be easier than the other for you. Let's start talking about the other stuff with this character, like her passive. Limbo's Might gives you bonus health when you hit an enemy. People say this makes her a brawler, but honestly, when you're not in your ult, the health you gain back really isn't enough to mitigate the incoming damage, so I don't know. As for ult, the first thing you should know is that all cooldowns are immediately restored. So either use all your abilities and put out a lot of damage before using your ult to get your abilities back, or just get high ground or to cover by using your dash and then ult. Also, don't use your ult out in the open. Just use it in cover because you can get killed when you're turning into demon form. And while you're in your ult, the main ability you want to use is your whirl. It has so much range, it's ridiculous, and does a ton of group damage. Once you use one stepping disc, your next comes back so fast it really makes you difficult to hit while you're in her ult. Try and mix up some main attacks while you're in her ult too, because those do a ton of damage, but that should pretty much cover everything on Magik for you for the most part. Just make sure when you're playing her, you're using your kill combos to take out the supports in the back line. Your stats might not be the best at the end of the game when you're playing her, but killing the supports is the difference between winning and losing games. I hope I helped you guys learn Magik. If you have any questions for me, leave them down below in the comments. Also, comment sword if you made it this far in the video so I can thank you. It would be awesome if we could get this video to 1,000 likes, but I'm just glad to help you guys, and I have nothing more to say, so other than that, I'm out, bro. Peace.